We're here to the roast of the Beavertown mayor this evening, Cloyd Wagner. This is a roast in his honor. A few things, a couple housekeeping things before we get started with the festivities here. We talked to everybody on your way in, but just to reiterate, make sure your name's in the hat. We're going to do a drawing for some candy bars. Your chances of winning are pretty good. I'll tell you that right now. Also, we have merchandise, bicentennial merchandise on the table back there. This is probably one of your last chances to get this stuff. So by all means, if you want it, get it tonight, and you get an extra entry if you do buy something, okay? Plus an extra candy bar. Yeah, that's a bargain. You won't find that at Walmart, only here. Okay, before we get into the roast proper, I do want to take a little advantage of my time on the stump here and put a little personal plug out there. You may not know, but I've actually been investigating starting a new business, a little personal business of mine, an idea that I've been tossing around for quite a while. And I just went up to the Susquehanna Bank this past week to get the money to start the business. Real nice people up there. You ever dealt with those people up there? Real nice, aren't they? Real friendly. Went in there, got in the back office talking to the loan officer, and she asked me, she said, well, Mr. Kerstetter, she said, where's this business going to be? Where do you plan on building it? I said, well, you know, I just bought this nice little piece of land down in the Lehigh Valley, and I figured I'd put the business there. She said, oh, that sounds nice. She said, well, what type of business is it? What will you be doing? I said, well, it's going to be a cheese factory. I'm going to make, package, and sell cheese. She says, oh, that sounds pretty good. She said, what will you call the business? I said, we plan on calling it Cheeses of Nazareth. Bang, boom. Come on. All right, let's kick this thing off. Before we get going here, I want everybody to understand the whole purpose behind a roast, okay? We are going to fully dismantle and humiliate this man tonight. But remember, we only roast people that we have great honor for, that we have great respect for, and that we like. We don't roast people who don't fit that description. And that description certainly does fit this man sitting at the table up here. Okay, so just remember that. Now for the cameraman, can you actually see me over the podium? Yeah, can you see me okay back there? If not, I did bring along my phone book to stand on. This is the one I normally sit on when I drive, but I can stand on it if I had to. So just tell me if I fall off the screen back there, okay? Now, Bill, is it Bill or is it Cloyd? Which one is it? Bill. I guess if my name was Cloyd, I'd probably have people call me Bill too. That's definitely Bill. Now, we know that he is the mayor of Beavertown. He's also a singer. He runs several different corporations. He tells me that he's a man of 27 hats. In fact, I believe him there. I truly believe him because, you know, I have never seen the man without a hat on before, and no kidding, this is the honest to goodness truth, before today. When I talked to him this afternoon, I was shocked to see the man without a hat on. That's when I realized why he wears a hat. Turns out lobotomy scars heal very slowly and they're extremely unsightly. Okay? And I did request that he put the hat back on for tonight's show. Definitely requested that. But throughout the course of the evening, I'm going to tell you what a great guy Bill is. I'm going to tell you about all the things that he's done for our great little community here. And then I'm going to conclude with some stuff that's actually the truth. Okay, so bear with me through all the other stuff till we get to the end. Now we do have a panel of distinguished roasters for tonight who are going to conduct the ceremony for us. Unfortunately, none of them could be here, so we had to settle with these guys. I guess we'll make do. But the first guy I want to bring up here, he probably doesn't need a whole lot of introduction, especially anybody who's from the area. I'm sure you visited one of our great landmarks of the area. It used to be called the Gas House up in Beaver Springs. They actually had one of those old air hoses with the little thing that goes ding, 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 ding as you're putting the air into your tires. Well, I'd like to introduce to you the man behind all that hot air, Bruce Hassinger.
All right. What an introduction. We still have that thing up there. It doesn't work because in the last few years, I'd like to say the kids broke it, but I'm not going to say that because, you know, vandalism is terrible today, and they broke it 6 times in 1 year. I spent $500 and some fixing it up to give free air. I decided to heck with that. So I got rid of that. But Bill gave me a list the other day of things I might want to say, and after I looked that over, I thought, the heck with that. I might use a couple of them, but I have a lot of stuff I want to say. Many of you people don't know this, but I've known him all my life. And I am age 59. And I've known him all 59 years. And, you know, I don't like him, and I always will. I just want you to know that. Okay. Now, many people didn't know. You heard about the 27 hats. We're going to change hats every couple times. I can see that's coming up. But you don't know all the things that he does. Now, you got to remember that I was at Cloyd service station, which was called the Gas House. I think it's now called the Gossip House. But to make it's always the gospel truth there that was heard. Those guys that come in there always tell me the gospel truth. I know it's a fact. So some of the things that I'm going to say here, I know is absolutely true about Bill. Now, some of those 27 hats that I know about that people probably don't know about. Such things like he's been hiding some of those things. Now, when I was a little kid, about 13, 14 years old, I went to Bill to learn to play the guitar. Well, what a mistake that was. He couldn't play either. So all the groups that he was trying to teach, the miles, the reflections and all that, none of them made it. Of course, because none of us could ever play the guitar, because he taught us nothing. So that was just a terrible thing. Then at age 18, as a kid, Bill and I decided to take a trip. How many people remember when we went away? Bill and I went away. In 1969, I graduated. Bill said that was his favorite number. I have no idea why. But anyhow, he said that. That was my year of graduating, you know. That's what I thought it was important. He thought it was other things. I don't know. We went to Provo, Utah together to watch a wrestling tournament. Is that right? NCAA wrestling tournament. A national championship. We went together. And how many people, by raising your hand, I'm going to ask a lot of questions here, how many people know what the elevation is here in Beavertown? I knew you'd know. Ever since that trip, we both know. Okay. That was one of the questions that when we jumped in the taxi cab to go, everybody, but this guy was in the back of the seat, was asking 10,000 questions. The poor taxi cab driver was that pissed off. He started just rattling numbers off. So Bill and I, every time we see each other, he asked me what the elevation is here, and I asked him where. I asked him if I see him at Center Hall or at Lewistown or at Bacon Gym. First thing we say, what's the elevation? Is that correct? You had to be there. You had to really be there to really appreciate it. But how many people know how tight Bill is? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Put your hands up if you know how tight it is. Don't be bashful. Brings his own soda along to, brings his own coffee along. Won't buy any from anybody, And if you take him along, who buys? That's what I'm talking about, I have to buy, don't I, Bill? Okay, well, we'll just let that alone. But when we were in this place of Provo, Utah, we made a little trip out to Bonneville to the salt flats. I wanted to see the salt flats. I also, how many people were ever in a little town called Lowe? Put your hands up, Bill. You and I were there. 3 houses, 1 garage with a little restaurant in it on the other side of the Bonneville salt flats. Am I correct?
30 miles.
Well, I'll tell you how tight he was. I wanted to gamble into Utah. I wanted to do some gambling, but of course Bill wasn't going to spend any money doing that. But I just wanted to say I spent some. So the only thing I could gamble on was a pinball machine. So I spent, what, $2 in the pinball machine, something like that. I couldn't lose. See, oh, they got the best pinball machines in Lowe, if you ever go there. They've got the best pinball machine there. I finally had 50 or 100 games on there. Bill still owes me $100 for that because the guy wouldn't pay off for the games. So finally Bill says, just push the balls and let them go down through and then we'll run the games off. And we matched and we won more. Only he didn't win because he wouldn't spend no money. And he wouldn't get my money. So I figured by now it's probably about $1,000 that he owes me just for running them games off. You know, because he had to do the driving, he rented the car, and we did the whole trip. And it's a great little town. If you ever get to Lowe, Utah, go play the pinball machine. They're really hot there.
And you had to abandon some games.
I abandoned several hundred games. You're correct. I did, because I couldn't lose. I had never been at a place like that. Now, how many people... Now, this question I'm going to ask, and there are probably only 2 people put their hands up for this. How many people are members of the One More Minute of Light at Night Club? And he is the founder of that. Now, how many people knew that? Big tidbits of information that your mayor does is the founder of the One More Minute of Light at Night. It's in December every year. We hold that convention. One of the founding members just passed away long ago, Kenny Will. Now, what is One More Minute of Light at Night? Can anybody here tell me? You see, the shortest day is December 21st. Is that correct?
They're all 24 hours.
They're all 24 hours, but daylight is the shortest day, is December 21st. But approximately 1 week before that, the clock starts changing 1 more minute of light in the evening. In the morning, you're losing 2 minutes. In the evening, you gain 1 minute. So he started a club. 1 more minute of light at night. Now, if you've ever been there and have to eat there, that's not even fun because it's the most exotic food you've ever had in your life. Usually it doesn't agree with your stomach. It might be jalapeno peppers, it could be cheese, chocolate covered, whatever. We do whatever you can possibly think of, and there's only about 6 people attend this. But he is the founding father. He has minutes of it. Do you not have minutes of it? Yes, you do. I knew that. He keeps track of that. 1 more minute of light at night. It'll be in about a month. So anybody that wants to visit that, you'll have to get in touch with him to see when it is. Now, if brains were water, Bill wouldn't have enough to baptize a flea. He just doesn't have it, you know? I know, it should be 300-400, but it's not.